listeners, and welcome back to Everyday Health Stories, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of medical science through the power of storytelling. Each week, we bring you compelling science and simple strategies that can help you take control of your health one step at a time. If this is your first time joining us, hit pause for a moment and click on follow or subscribe, depending on where you're listening. That way, you'll get notified of new episodes, gain access to exclusive content, and join a community that's making positive changes one story at a time. And Dr. Reddy, we often hear about the importance of diet and exercise for good health. But there's a fundamental physiological process we engage in every moment of our lives that's gaining incredible attention for its therapeutic potential: breathing. Today, we're talking about breathwork. It sounds so simple, yet many claim it can do everything from reduce stress to improve focus and even boost physical performance. Is there real science behind these claims, or is it just about taking a few deep breaths?
It's far more than just taking a few deep breaths, although that's a good start. Conscious breathwork encompasses a variety of techniques that involve intentionally altering your breathing patterns to bring about specific physiological and psychological changes. While practices like yogic pranayama have existed for millennia, modern science is now rigorously investigating how these techniques impact our nervous system, brain function, inflammation levels, and overall resilience. And the findings are quite remarkable.
That's intriguing because breathing is so automatic. Most of us rarely think about it. Can you share a story of someone who experienced a significant change through incorporating intentional breathwork into their life?
Absolutely. I'm reminded of a client, David, a 45-year-old entrepreneur who was constantly under immense pressure. He suffered from chronic stress, had difficulty sleeping, and often experienced what he described as a racing mind that he couldn't switch off. He tried various relaxation techniques with limited success and was skeptical about something as seemingly simple as breathing exercises.
I can understand that skepticism. When you're overwhelmed, being told to just breathe can feel a bit dismissive.
Precisely. But David was desperate for relief. We started by introducing him to a very basic form of diaphragmatic breathing, or belly breathing, and then gradually explored some structured techniques like box breathing. He committed to practicing for just 10 to 15 minutes a day. Initially, he found it challenging to focus. His mind would wander, but he persisted.
What changes did he begin to notice?
Within a few weeks, David reported subtle but significant shifts. He found that his immediate reaction to stressful situations at work was less intense. He felt a greater sense of calm and control. The racing mind at night began to quiet down, and he found it easier to fall asleep. Over several months, with consistent practice, he even noticed a reduction in his resting heart rate and blood pressure during checkups. For David, breathwork became a powerful, accessible tool to actively regulate his stress response and improve his overall quality of life.
David's experience is very encouraging. It shows that consistent, intentional practice can yield real results. Dr. Reddy, let's get into the science. How does consciously changing our breathing pattern actually affect our physiology, particularly our nervous system?
The key lies in the connection between our breath and the autonomic nervous system, which controls many of our involuntary bodily functions. This system has two main branches: the sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight response, and the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest response. In our modern, often high-stress lives, many of us are stuck in sympathetic overdrive.
So we're constantly in a state of heightened alert?
To some extent, yes. Slow, controlled breathing techniques, especially those that emphasize a longer exhale, can directly stimulate the vagus nerve, which is a primary component of the parasympathetic nervous system. Activating the vagus nerve helps to shift the balance from sympathetic dominance towards a more parasympathetic state. This shift can lead to a cascade of beneficial changes: a lower heart rate, reduced blood pressure, decreased production of stress hormones like cortisol, and an overall sense of calm and relaxation.
So by controlling our breath, we're essentially sending a signal to our body that it's safe to relax and downshift from that high alert mode.
That's right. It's like being able to take control of your body's stress switch. Normally, your body reacts to stress automatically, like when your heart races or you start breathing fast when you're scared or anxious. But through specific breathing techniques, you can manually affect how your body responds. Different ways of breathing do different things. For instance, breathing quickly and forcefully in and out, like in the Wim Hof method, can temporarily turn on your fight or flight mode. This gives you a boost of energy and alertness, almost like a natural shot of adrenaline. After that burst of activation, your body often shifts into a state of deep calm, which can help with relaxation, clarity, and recovery. The amazing part? These automatic body functions, like your heartbeat, stress levels, and even digestion, can be influenced by simply changing how you breathe. That's why breathwork is so powerful. It gives you a way to guide your internal state instead of just reacting to it.
You mentioned the Wim Hof method. That's one I've heard come up a lot, especially when people talk about cold exposure. Can you explain a bit more about how that style of breathwork actually affects the body?
The Wim Hof method combines specific breathing techniques, cycles of deep, rapid breathing followed by breath holds, cold exposure, and mindset training. The breathing component typically involves controlled hyperventilation followed by breath retention. This can lead to increased oxygen levels and decreased carbon dioxide levels in the blood temporarily. Physiologically, this can induce a temporary state of respiratory alkalosis, increase adrenaline, and has been shown in studies to modulate the immune response, potentially reducing inflammation.
Modulate the immune response? That's powerful. So it's not just about stress and relaxation. Breathwork can have deeper physiological impacts?
Yes, there's compelling research to back this up. A study published in PNAS, that's the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, found that individuals trained in the Wim Hof method were able to consciously influence their sympathetic nervous system and immune response after being exposed to an endotoxin. Compared to an untrained control group, they experienced fewer flu-like symptoms and had significantly lower levels of inflammation. It was a groundbreaking discovery, suggesting that we may have more control over our immune system than we once believed, with breathwork playing a key role.
That's truly groundbreaking. What about other techniques like box breathing, which David practiced? How does that work?
Box breathing, also known as square breathing, is a very simple yet effective technique often used by athletes, military personnel, and anyone looking to manage stress and improve focus. It involves inhaling for a count, say 4 seconds, holding the breath for the same count, exhaling for the same count, and then holding the breath out for the same count, and repeating the cycle. This rhythmic, balanced breathing helps to calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and enhance mental clarity and concentration. The holds can help to reset your CO2 tolerance, which can also have calming effects.
It sounds very centering. Are there benefits of breathwork for cognitive functions like focus and attention beyond just stress reduction?
Absolutely. When you're in a state of chronic stress, your cognitive resources are often diverted to managing that perceived threat. By calming the nervous system through breathwork, you free up those resources. Moreover, the practice of focusing on your breath is in itself a form of mindfulness meditation. This can improve attention regulation, reduce mind wandering, and enhance your ability to stay present and focused on the task at hand. Some studies have also suggested that certain breathing practices can influence brainwave patterns, potentially promoting states associated with relaxation and heightened awareness, like alpha waves.
So, it's like a workout for our attention muscle, with the added benefit of physiological calm. We've talked about stress, immunity, and focus. What about physical performance? Can breathwork help athletes or even just regular folks in their fitness routines?
Yes, there's growing interest in this area. Proper breathing mechanics are fundamental to efficient movement and energy production. Diaphragmatic breathing, for instance, ensures optimal oxygen intake and can improve core stability. Some athletes use specific breathing techniques to enhance endurance, manage exertion, and speed up recovery. For example, nasal breathing during exercise is gaining popularity as it can improve oxygen uptake efficiency and CO2 tolerance compared to mouth breathing for some individuals. Breath hold techniques are also explored in some training regimens to improve tolerance to hypoxia and potentially enhance performance.
It's amazing how this one simple act of breathing, when done consciously, can have such a wide array of benefits. Dr. Reddy, for our listeners who are intrigued and want to start exploring breathwork, what are some simple, safe techniques they can try at home?
It's always best to start simple and listen to your body. Here are a couple of foundational techniques. First, diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing. Lie down or sit comfortably. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, allowing your belly to rise as your diaphragm contracts and draws air into the lower lungs. Your chest should remain relatively still. Exhale slowly through your mouth or nose, allowing your belly to fall. Practice this for 5 to 10 minutes a day. It's incredibly calming and helps to reestablish a natural, efficient breathing pattern.
That sounds like a great starting point, very gentle.
Second, box breathing. As we discussed, inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold out for 4. You can adjust the count to what feels comfortable, maybe starting with 3 seconds if 4 feels too long. Do this for a few minutes when you're feeling stressed or need to focus.
Simple and structured. Are there any precautions people should take, especially if they have underlying health conditions?
That's a very important point. While basic relaxation breathing is generally safe for most people, more intensive techniques, like those involving rapid breathing or prolonged breath holds, such as some forms of Wim Hof or holotropic breathwork, should be approached with caution. Individuals with cardiovascular conditions, high blood pressure, a history of panic attacks, epilepsy, glaucoma, or those who are pregnant should consult with their healthcare provider before trying these more advanced practices. It's also advisable to learn such techniques from a qualified instructor initially.
That's excellent advice. Start gentle, and if you're exploring more intense methods, seek guidance and check with your doctor. Dr. Reddy, what do you see as the future of breathwork in health and wellness?
I believe we're just scratching the surface. As research continues to grow, I anticipate breathwork becoming an increasingly integrated component of mainstream healthcare for stress management, mental health support, pain management, respiratory conditions, and even athletic training. The fact that it's a non-pharmacological, self-empowering tool makes it incredibly appealing. We're likely to see more personalized breathwork protocols developed for specific conditions and goals.
It's exciting to think that something so innate, so accessible to every one of us, holds such profound potential for healing and optimization. Dr. Reddy, thank you for shedding light on the surprising and powerful science of breathwork. You've given us a much deeper appreciation for the simple act of breathing and practical ways to harness its benefits.
It's been my pleasure to share this with you all. The breath is with us in every moment, a quiet, steady companion that grounds us. But when we bring our awareness to it, it becomes something far greater, a tool for healing, for clarity, and for resilience. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful medicine is already within us, patiently waiting to be used.
Wow, that's very inspiring. Thank you, Dr. Reddy. And a big thank you to our listeners for joining us on Everyday Health Stories. We hope this episode has inspired you to explore the power of your own breath. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful conversations on health and wellness. If you found this episode valuable, please share it with others who might be looking for natural ways to manage stress and enhance their well-being.
As always, the information provided in this podcast is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new health practice, especially if you have pre-existing health conditions.
Until next time, take a deep breath and know that you have a powerful tool for health right within you. Bye for now.